Tell us about this relatively new startup, Crux, and what it's doing.
It is new. It's in the clean energy finance space. The first product they created is a platform to trade, as you may know, under the Inflation Reduction Act. You can now transfer credits, energy credits, so that the developers of a project who have credits can now transfer them, sell them to buyers who need that for their tax purposes. It's the first platform that not only addresses the buyers and sellers, but also the intermediaries like the banks, advisors, accountants. So it's a platform that right now has over $10 billion of credits that are available for purchase and for sale. So it's an exciting opportunity for me to join a company that, even though it's early in its startup phase, we've been very successful. Raised $27 million from smart investors like Andreessen Horowitz, some of the largest clean energy companies. They put together a team of 27 really great people who are young and are active, innovative, and we're out there providing a service for an important part of the economy and the growing economy in our country. There's over $300 billion worth of projects that have been announced in the clean energy space. And that's a great boom for many states, small towns, big cities where these projects are happening as we try to address the energy needs in all sorts of ways with new products, new innovation. That's the only way we're going to address our energy needs in the 21st century, is to have more innovative opportunities for energy space than the traditional ones.
Well, like you say, it's an interesting time, and it's interesting to see your own trajectory, of course, from the White House to Wall Street and now a startup to really try to take advantage of some of that and make it better. And I am curious, when it comes to this transfer market for IRA tax credits, that platform, of course, that Crux has pioneered, how developed is that market actually? How much is left?
Oh, it's continuing to grow. The opportunities are enormous. As more and more projects are being developed, put online, taking advantage of the opportunities. You know, there's much discussion around the subsidies, the energy credits. Obviously, energy credits have been in our system for a very long time. But the change that happened was the ability to transfer those energy credits. That gives a company, and I'll give you an example, like SBC Power down in Greenville, South Carolina. They had a project, they sold twice in 23 and 24 some of their credits. That gave them more cash to invest in their growth in Greenville, creating more jobs. So it's really a win-win for all the parties that are involved in trying to take advantage of these opportunities and grow economies throughout the country. So it's fun.
So, Bill, as you say, the statute, the Inflation Reduction Act, specifically provides for this transfer. It anticipated this marketplace. How durable are these credits? Because you probably haven't noticed, we have an election coming up in November, and two very different approaches to the climate and to the Inflation Reduction Act. If, in fact, Donald Trump were re-elected president, do these survive that?
Well, look at I'm not going to, as you said, not speculate about what may happen in an election for sure. But these are creating opportunities for economic growth throughout the country. There's not a red or blue state that doesn't have an opportunity going on by virtue of the subsidies, the support that the IRA gave. And let me just point out, for every dollar the government spends on these projects, the private sector is investing $5. So it's not as though this is just some big giveaway by any stretch. It is growing our economy. It is creating opportunities for new energy, possibly, that our needs will be serviced by. And it's innovative, creative in the 21st century. So I think as the legislators in whatever the next Congress is, looks at the real success that's going on out there in the economy throughout the country, the question will be, do we want to kill these opportunities and this innovation, or do we want to support it? And my guess is, as a former Commerce Secretary, it's a pretty easy analysis, especially when you look at how much the private sector is investing in these projects.
Well, that's where I'd like to go. When it comes to the private sector, I hear your points, but when it comes to the future of investment coming from the private sector, I mean, how much is at stake in an election year? How much could that change if we do get a new administration?
Well, yeah, the new administration obviously is going to have to look at what are they going to do to grow the economy. We can all talk about things that maybe stymie it, but it's all about growth. The key to our economy, and this is just logic, obviously, has to grow. What are you going to do to make the economy grow? Right now, as I mentioned, there are $300 billion worth of projects that have been announced that are going to be built and going to move forward on. Those are jobs, those are opportunities. That's new, innovative, creative ways to address our energy needs, which are going to only grow if the economy grows. And we can't just address them by the traditional sources of energy. There have to be new ones. And when you look around the world, you look at China, what they've done in the EV space and battery space. We've got to replicate that here in our country and grow our economy with new innovations and new ways to address the energy needs of the country if we continue to grow.
Bill, finally, do you have any sense at this point in this new market, what percentage of the tax credits made available actually get traded? Because presumably some companies keep them and use them themselves, they benefit themselves. Yeah. Others decide they want to trade them. Do you have any sense of how many of the total credits get traded?
I don't have a percent, but as this market grows, the need, and what it does is it gives those developers extra resources when they do sell their credits that they can then put into the projects, as the example, as I mentioned, down in Greenville, South Carolina. It continues to churn and grow the opportunities for developers and for companies.